Is PSA actually controlling population reports in 2021? Watch this video to find out. Alright guys, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about population reports. And one of the biggest topics in grading over the past couple of months has been PSA's crackdown on grades. Everybody is seeing gym rates plummet across the board, and today I wanted to give my thoughts on what I actually think is happening and give 4 possible explanations for why this is occurring, because it is occurring. Let's face it, grades across the board in PSA 10 are going down. However, I want to go through 4 potential factors for why that is. But first, let's jump straight into the data, because I do want to show everyone what the data actually looks like. And there's a forum member on Blowout Forums who's actually gone through and taken a look at this and really broken it out by all the months so far in 2021, January, February, March, April, and May, and broken it out by year that the card was graded. So looking at 2018 cards, 2019 cards, 2020 cards, 2021, and looking at those gym rates, as well as PSA 9 rates, PSA 8, etc. So as you can see, if we're just looking at 2018 cards here at the bottom, looking in January, February, March, April, May, look at the gym rates for those cards. And again, 2018, think of cards like Luka Doncic rookies, Trae Young rookies. In football, we're looking at Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen's, those types of cards. So looking at gym rates, 50% in January, 55% in February, pretty consistent, right? Then March, we're down to 37. There's a spike in April at 56, and then it drops back down to 33. So maybe you can't really see a trend there, but if we go to 2019 cards, that's Zion Williamson, John Morant, some of the other football rookies in 2019, that is what, Kyler Murray's year. So 56%, 52, 52, 55. May, we're getting clobbered, 25.98%. 2020 years, again, 64, 53, 52, 58, 38. And then 2021 cards, there's obviously not a lot of 2021 cards out there because you're not sending those in bulk and getting them back in 2021. It's only going to be Super Express or really Express. So we only have data here from May. So just looking at that, it does look like there's a downward trend in terms of the PSA 10 gym rate. And that's something that I've noticed, at least in some of my grades. So now I want to go over to my data, and I want to show you guys what my gym rate has looked like grading with PSA throughout the year. So if we look here, you'll see my gym 10 rate, mint 9 rate, near mint 8 rate, the overall number of cards that I graded, as well as what that rate looks like. So in 2017, whenever I began tracking this really more exclusively in my spreadsheet, 83.7% gym rate. So again, I'm relatively new to PSA at this time. I started grading with them around 2016. Submitted some cards way back, one-offs here or there, but really switched over from Beckett around 2016. Began tracking this in 2017. So 83% gym rate in 2017. 83%. All right. So we go to 2018. Still holding pretty strong. So 78%. I'm grading a couple more cards than I did in 2017, but overall, this is still a pretty good gym rate. And I'm not really being overly critical on my cards. I'm doing the same thing that I always did with Beckett, PSA, etc. 2019, this rate clearly falls. We're down to 62.43%. Again, more cards. The mint 9 rate, if we look at the mint 9 rate, we've gone from 15% to 20% now to 33%. If we look at my near mint 8 rate, we've gone from 1% to 1.6% to now 3.5%. Now let's look at 2020. 2020, things clearly changed. And again, I don't have all these cards officially graded yet, as I'm waiting on a ton of bulks that I submitted in 2020. So I have a lot more cards. It's just I'm not getting them back faster. They're still outstanding. But if you look at my Gym 10 rate, down to 48%, guys. 45% for Mint 9, 5% for the Near Mint 8. I haven't even began tracking the Near Mint 7s or 6s or 5s, 4s, 3s, yada, yada, yada. But that's what it's looking like. We're below 50%. And if we go to 2021, I don't have a lot of data because, again, I don't have a lot of these cards back. But we're looking at gem rates, again, below 50%. And this isn't even accurate. I don't even have my Super Express order where all 4 of those cards, none of them gemmed. So this isn't even including that order. So we're actually really below 40% in terms of gem rates. So I think the evidence is pretty clear that gem rates are down. I think that we all can agree to that because we have data not only from my usage over time, but we also have the data that's been compiled across everything that PSA has ever graded. So what are the reasons for that? Now I'm going to give you 4 reasons. The first reason is obviously with the hobby boom that's taken place and the proliferation of grading, clearly there are a lot more people interested in grading cards, right? So with that, there's going to be a ton of newbies. Not only newbies who have been in the hobby, who have never graded a card, but now are seeing the profitability of it, and thus they are doing it. But 2, people who have just dug all their cards out from after watching The Last Dance and seeing sports cards explode. They went and back home to their mom's, house or attic and then found all their cards, submitted them for grading, expecting to get these big results, and they have no clue what they're doing, right? So the first category is going to be grading newbies. Nat Turner touched on this in a recent Sports Card Live interview. There's a ton of new people grading cards. And for those new people who are submitting at large volumes, which a lot of new people are submitting to PSA, that is probably making a lot of these gem rates go down. So I think that is a big contributor to some of these suppressed grades. Now, that doesn't explain for folks like me why I'm seeing low grades, which brings me to factor number 2. The second factor is, as we saw the market grow in 2020, PSA 10s before 2020, and really, I would say the first half of 2019, you're looking for PSA 10 or kind of bust. Now, if I got a PSA 9, I knew I could probably get my money back out of it in 2018 and 2019, but towards the tail end of 2019, PSA 9 wasn't a bad thing. PSA 9 was something that you could actually make money on. Now in 2020, there's a big premium on PSA 9s for certain cards. Now, obviously, Ultra Modern, that's not the case. If you're submitting an Ultra Modern, with very few exceptions, you want a PSA 10. Otherwise, it is a waste of your money. There are exceptions. I don't want to go through every single one, and I'm sure you all could point them out. But you want PSA 10s for Ultra Modern. But for a lot of those older Moderns, the 2017 and older, those absolutely you want to have, you can make a premium on a PSA 9. So what does that mean? That means people like me have been much more lenient in terms of what they are submitting to PSA. Before, I may be a little bit more critical. Now I'm like, if it comes back a 9, I'm still going to make more money than raw. And it also guarantees that, if somebody has a complaint, and I've brought this up numerous times, if somebody has a complaint about the condition, it's graded by a third-party company. Like, are you going to argue with PSA? Actually, some people do, which is really stupid, and eBay sides with them. But for the most part, they know what they're getting. They're getting a PSA 8, PSA 9, etc. So the bottom line for reason number 2 is people are submitting more borderline cards than they had previously because there is a premium in those PSA 9s and PSA 10 grades. Still, that doesn't factor in some of the disappointment that you're seeing across the entire YouTube landscape whenever it comes to low grades, which leads me to reason number 3. Reason number 3, obviously, PSA has standards, right? But PSA has hired a ton of new people. This is conjecture, and no one can really know, but with people who are being hired into these roles, it's my estimation that likely these people are being taught the right way to grade, meaning the standards for these graders coming in through their training programs are high. And these new graders more than likely are grading at a higher standard than some of the previous graders who have been with PSA, in 2017, 2018, 2019. So I think their training approach whenever they're getting these graders is these guys are hitting the ground running, and they are not giving out 10s at the same clip that we saw in 2019, the first half of 2020, 2017, etc. So I think that the standards for the graders themselves has changed because they have a whole new cohort of graders. And I think that's a good thing because you want these people coming in with high standards, right? Now, it does kind of stink if you're used to getting really good grades like me. I've had really high gem rates over time. But, at the same time, brand integrity is important. And PSA recognizes that, and they want to have high standards. So that concludes reason number 3. Reason number 4, and this is wildly speculative, is there is a top-down message from the PSA executives that states, we're going to suppress gem rates because we want to protect our brand. with the absolute proliferation of sports cards being produced by Panini, Topps, etc., it is going to do more harm than good if we actually grade these cards the way we've been grading them and we give them PSA 10s. If we give PSA 10s at the same clip, it's going to dilute the card market, it's going to dilute the brand, people are going to leave, and in the long run, that's going to be bad for business. That is actually very true. If that happens, that is exactly what will happen. There will be a dilution of PSA 10s. Now, is it actually a fact that PSA is doing that? That's completely conjecture, which brings me to what I think is actually happening. If you look at all four of those scenarios, all four reasons why the gem rates are going down, and I think we can all agree that gem rates are going down, and you can attribute each reason to on a scale of 100%. This is what I think that attribution looks like. For reason number one, the new graders. I think that is 50% of the reason why gem rates are going down. If you look at the overall data, 50% of the reason why the gem rates are going down is because of new graders. They're novices. They've never looked at cards in quantity. They don't know what the card stock looks like between different cards that equates to a gem mint 10. They don't know the difference in the surfaces. They just haven't seen enough cards from enough card stocks to really understand what is a gem mint 10. So I would say reason number one, 50% of the reason. Reason number two, which has to do with people sending in borderline cards, I actually think this is 25% of the cause. So again, 50% is due to new submitters to PSA. The additional 25% is from potentially people like me who are submitting borderline cards that they know that they can actually get a premium in a PSA 9 grade. So that constitutes 75% of the depression in gem rates that we're seeing thus far. Whenever it comes to reason number three is the new proliferation of graders that PSA has hired and potentially the new training that they are getting, which is really teaching them to grade the right way. For me, I think this is the final 25% of the reason why PSA 10 grades are going down. So reason number one is 50%, reason number two, 25%, and then reason number three is 25%. Which leads me to reason number four. Do I actually think that PSA is coming out and telling their graders to suppress grades, to protect the market, to protect the brand, etc.? No, I don't think that's happening. And the reason why I think that is happening is from a brand integrity perspective. If that ever was discovered that that is a message that was being delivered at PSA, that would do more harm for the brand than anything else that could possibly come from the brand, because the reason why PSA has its reputation is because of their consistent standards over time. Now, if those standards get tougher, they get tougher through a training process. And I think that that's probably happening with new graders. But overall, I don't think that it coming out that top-down executives are saying we're going to protect the sports card market and our brand by suppressing grades is something that did happen. I think that if that information occurred again, it would be detrimental and devastating to the brand of PSA. And I think that Nat Turner and company have a little bit more wherewithal to know that that would be really, really, really bad for PSA. So those are my thoughts on what's taking place with the depressed gem rates. Again, I think it's very, very clear. Let me be clear. PSA 10 gem rates are going down. PSA 9 rates, where people thought that they were going to get a 9, they're getting 8s now. People who are getting PSA 8s, they're getting 7s now. So overall, grades are getting really slashed across the board. That's clear even in one of the videos that I did. I had a PSA Super Express order that was a 4-card order. I thought for sure 2 of those cards were going to be gem mint. An Ohtani Bowman Chrome autographed orange refractor rookie. If that card was gem mint, that would be a $40,000 card right now. It came back a 9, and I had to submit it to Beckett. It got a 9.5. A Justin Herbert Optic Gold, that came back a PSA 9. Really, really, really disappointed. Very disappointed. Sent that to Beckett. It got a 9.5. So across the board, grades are tougher. They are. And I think that's going to have to be a fact of life moving forward. And we as graders are going to have to adjust how we're looking at our cards to really begin being extremely picky. If we're going to be sending cards to PSA, this is a new PSA in 2020, really, moving forward. Not just 2021, but 2020. And especially if the fees are going to be as high as they are, we have to be extremely picky in what we submit. We can't be submitting junk. So those are my thoughts. Love to hear what you all think down below. Do you all disagree? Is there another reason that I didn't think of that could be contributing to all of these issues? Let me know down below, and we will see you guys next time.